Hello, for my final vlog I'm just going to reflect on embarking on a PhD when you're a career changer in your mid-40s, which is my situation, which hopefully might be useful for perhaps other people in a similar situation who are thinking of taking the plunge and giving up work and doing a PhD. So I just thought I'd reflect a little bit on some of the things that I think are advantages of doing a PhD in that situation, and then perhaps a few things which are a bit more difficult. So thinking firstly about advantages, I think where people are coming into PhD research having had a quite a lengthy career in quite pressurised jobs, so I've got 20 odd years of experience of working. I think you're a bit more used to project management, being able to kind of organise lots of multiple strands of work, lots of different deadlines. You tend to have developed your own kind of strategies for dealing with that. I think you can also bring kind of an ability to kind of network and consult other people, which is often useful and often can perhaps stop you feeling quite isolated. Perhaps it helps you bring a bit more confidence into your relationship with your supervisor, so that seems a bit less daunting. So I think these are some of the things that if you have had a lot of experience of working life, they can really help to perhaps make the PhD process a bit less stressful, and I think generally you're just kind of a bit more resilient and have that kind of perseverance that you can bring to the process. So I think I've kind of found that has definitely been useful over the last 10 months or so that I've been doing my PhD. Just my situation, being a parent, just reflecting on that side of things. So I've got two young daughters who are both at primary school. So one of the things that I've been able to do is, because my partner is still working, so while she's working I'm able to do more of the school runs, so dropping the kids off at school and picking them up. And just because my working routine is more flexible, not all the time, but often I'm working at home, so I'm just able to do that, which just kind of helps the general situation. I think perhaps someone who comes to a PhD at a later stage generally has quite a high level of motivation. They've generally, kind of really come to the position of wanting to do their research project from perhaps a lot of thoughts, perhaps may have gone back into education and spent a few years doing part-time education to get to this stage. So I think that kind of level of motivation does definitely kind of help to have that in reserve. I think hopefully by the time you're perhaps at a later stage in life, you've generally got stability in the rest of your life, in terms of your home life and where you live, and kids and partners and what have you, which perhaps means that stability kind of helps you focus on the work. So they're just a few things that I think in my situation have helped, and certainly haven't hindered doing a PhD at a later stage in life. So just to also reflect on possible disadvantages or challenges, I think the first thing to say is that I've found there's been nothing major, so not that I've had any particular worries or concerns going into the PhD, but I haven't found anything particularly disadvantageous. I think, in my situation, as it happens, I live away from my university city, so my supervisor's down in Exeter, I'm in Bristol, so it's not that far away, but it does mean that I'm a bit more remote in terms of maybe social events or particular events in the department. So that's, you know, a bit of a disadvantage, but I'm only an hour or so away, so it's, you know, I can still get down to things at Exeter. I think probably the one area that I was most, you know, concerned about when I was looking to go down this route, and it's probably a common thing, is kind of thinking about the finances. So I had a you know, a good, well-paid job previously, and I certainly couldn't have done this without getting financial support. So I applied for basically a fully funded studentship. So that means that my fees get paid, and I get a stipend for each of the 3 years. And you know, although that has been a reduction in what I was previously earning, the stipend is tax-free, and you know, so that obviously helps. And you know, I think, yes, you do have to kind of think about your spending and perhaps rein in your spending a bit on kind of non-essential items. I think you definitely need to kind of plan out, you know, what your income's going to be, what your outgoings are. Again, I'm lucky that my partner has got a well-paid job, so obviously we can look at the whole picture. But to be honest, it's been fine. It's, in a way, it's been quite liberating actually to kind of think a bit more about money. And I do kind of think, well, when I was working, you know, what was I spending money on sometimes? So actually the concerns I had on that front, you know, haven't really been realised. I did think that I would probably have to have a part-time job as well as doing the PhD. In the event, as it's turned out, at this stage I haven't actually gone down that route. I have done a few things where I've got a bit of income, but I think if I'd have tried to juggle a regular part-time job as well as doing the PhD, that might have been quite difficult actually. So yeah, haven't found the need to do that. So I think, yeah, all in all, I'm really glad that I decided to kind of take the plunge, and I've really enjoyed the experience. It's been challenging, it's been busy, and it has stretched me, but that's what a PhD is supposed to do. And you know, I think if anyone else is in my situation, perhaps doing a job that they think, well, you know, I don't necessarily want to do this for the rest of my life, if you've got a good idea of a research project and you've got an idea of where that might lead, I think, you know, go for it, and you know, persevere, and you know, make sure that you've thought about the finances, obviously, but I think it's definitely the right thing to do. Okay, so that's just some reflections on how it's gone so far.